We are starting recording. I should have started that at the intro. This stream is recorded to show on Feral Swim Tech on YouTube and Feral Swim Tech on Rumble. So if you would mind, if you are a fan of Rumble, please go to Feral Swim Tech and go follow that channel. Also follow Frito Bandito Taqueria Gaming and yeah, you're going to find Frito Bandito Taqueria Gaming. So if you can follow those two channels, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, Feral Swim Tech. It's where a lot of, also with the Rumble, I post a lot of the swim technique reviews that I do for people that send me their footage. I go over it, and I then send stuff back to you. So remember, this is a live stream, 100%. If you have anything you want to talk about, hit me up in the chat. I got the chat. I got my chat just to the side of me. So if you are here watching on Facebook and you want to ask questions about kicking, things of that nature, please hit me up. This is a live show. I've been doing live streaming as a hobby for over 7 years now. I am very used to and accustomed to watching chat, answering chat while I am still talking about kicking. So with that, if you want me to review your stroke, or if you live in the Los Angeles County area or northern OC or even northern San Diego counties, and you want to have a lesson with me personally, feralswimtech@gmail.com. I can get you my information. We'll chat, and we can do in-person lessons. I am willing to drive, although there will be a slightly increased fee for that. So, let's talk about kicking today. Yes, kicking, that thing that gives a lot of triathletes heartburn, especially you cyclists and runners. Let's talk about why. Because I understand that kicking, especially kicking technique, is about the most foreign concept to most people on the planet. I can't tell you how many times I've done triathlons where I've been swimming in the water and I see people with just the most horrendous kicking technique. And I'm like, how do you move anywhere? Like, for instance, I saw a guy, I was right behind a guy at Pasadena Reverse, so the swim was last. So I hop in the pool, I start swimming. This guy is kicking like this. His legs are all the way out here. And I'm just like, oh, good Lord, please let me help you. Please let me help you. So kicking does not come naturally to people, and there's a bunch of reasons why, and we'll cover them in a few minutes. And then the other reason why kicking is not liked amongst triathletes is there is a couple really huge misconceptions. So what I want to do is I want to first start this discussion by dispelling a couple misconceptions that are actually really common amongst triathletes, especially those that don't have a swimming background, with regards to swim kicking. Number one, the kick is not there to make you go faster up until a point. Basically, until you're getting to the 130 mark, 130 per 100, 120 per 100, your kick is not moving you anywhere. That's almost a guarantee. Because only when you've really reached about the 130 mark, your legs are actually starting to really start producing thrust forward. Okay? A lot of people think moving their legs is kicking, and that moving their legs actually does something for them. I will prove to you just moving your legs does you absolutely nothing. You have to kick with a purpose. You have to kick with proper technique, or else you're basically wiggling your legs for no reason, wasting energy, wasting oxygen, wasting calories, wasting water. Okay? You absolutely are wasting your time if all you're doing is wiggling your legs. That's why I'm here. We're going to talk about it. Okay. No, I go backwards when I kick. That also can totally happen. I've proven it time and time again to people who don't think that's possible. I'm all my swimming buddies. I'm like, yeah, you can go backwards and you kick. Totally happens. And what's up, Joel? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. So, okay. So number one, the kick is not specifically to move you forward. I will explain more than that in a second. Number two, you don't have to kick hard to be a good kicker. Okay? Full disclosure, I was a terrible kicker. Back in college, back in high school swimming, I was always a terrible kicker. I was a really good distance swimmer. I was a terrible kicker. My kick was pathetic compared to all my teammates. But that's simply because, number one, my feet are incredibly small for my height. I'm 6'2", and I only have a 10.5 size shoe. That's not really that big of a foot. So compared to my whole body mass, my legs weren't capable of moving a lot of water. We'll get into the reasons why in a little bit later. So number 2, you do not have to kick fast in order to have a good kick. Okay? Number 3, you cannot bend your knees in order to have a good kick. Actually, no, hold on. Actually, hold up. Yeah, those are the two major misconceptions. Those are the major two misconceptions. Number 1, your kick actually provides a lot of thrust. Your kick actually only provides anywhere between 3 to 7% of your entire speed of your stroke. Now, if you're doing 100, 50, 100, or 200-yard distances, yes, that kick is absolutely vital. You watch Katie Ledecky's kick, who's basically the queen of distance swimming. I know that one of her records got broken, but she's basically the queen right now. Her kick is not that huge. Her kick is not that big. So distance swimmers do not need a huge kick. If you are swimming a 50, heck yes, you need a huge kick. Swimming a 1,500, 2,000, 4,000, no. You absolutely don't need a kick, okay? So let's now move into what is the kick for. Now, a lot of us think, okay, my legs help me move forward. If you're a cyclist, if you're a runner, you're used to the idea of your legs moving yourself forward. In swimming, we have to completely abandon that ideology. We need to start from the concept of our legs are moving water down, as in down to the bottom of the pool. Now, going back to what we've talked about recently, if you've been watching these streams, when we talk about grabbing water and pushing it backwards, right? We don't want to push water down to the bottom of the pool. Why is that? Because if we push water down, that makes us go up. You see where I'm going with this? Okay? If we push water down with our hands, that's lifting us out of the water, which is really good for sighting, not very good for trying to go forward, okay? What we want to do with our legs is actually almost the pure opposite. We want our leg going straight up and down like this, so we push water down so our body position goes up from the bottom side, okay? Why is it so hard for people to get good body positioning in swimming that do not have a swimming background? It's because they don't comprehend the concept that you have to push water down with your leg to get your body to come up. That's the key disconnect. Because if you dip your knee, that's going to sink your body. You're pushing your knee. As you push your knee, you're pushing water towards you, okay? So if I'm kicking here, the water's going backwards and down and backwards, okay? Primarily, all right? If your body position is really good, your butt, my shoulder, imagine your shoulders or glutes. So you're kicking here, all right? So the most of your leg is actually pushing water straight down, okay? So if we push water straight down, that's going to lift our lower body up towards the surface of the water, and that's exactly what we want to do. So the two major ways people mess up kicking is, number one, the most common is the upper leg stays still, and the lower leg kind of does this, okay? So you bend at the knee, okay, my elbow's the knee, the lower leg comes up, and then it claps back down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Why is this not good? This is not good technique because when you completely disregard the top part of your leg, if you are watching this motion, this is basically going straight down, okay? The back part, the foot and the ankle and the shins, that is actually helping push water backwards. Now you're probably thinking, well, don't I just want to do this? If I just do this, I'm just pushing that water backwards. The problem is you're not getting the lift. You're not getting the lift from the upper part of your leg, which is larger than the lower part of your leg. And also what you're doing is you've effectively reduced the surface area. You've reduced the surface area of your leg by over half, okay? Your quads take up more surface area than your shins do, okay, on average. So if you get rid of this part, you have no lifting force to get your butt to get up to the top of the water. It's impossible. It's impossible because you do this, you're going to start going lower and lower and lower unless you have amazing pull strength, which most people don't have that are going 140, 150, 2 minutes per 100. You don't have the ability to push water back hard enough to where your legs will actually float up to the surface. Timing of the kick to arm stroke, Joel, we will get to that in a little bit. Okay, hold off on that question. That will be answered in just a little bit. So when we're kicking down, we want the majority of the water actually going down. That gets us towards the surface. So then the other thing that I've seen is where they'll actually bend the knee down and then push the foot out. Now, I have a theory of people who do this. I think people who do this are cyclists. The majority are the cyclists. Because if you think about it, you bring the knee down and then you push the foot out. That's exactly what you do on the bike. You're basically taking the same biking motion and translating it into the water, creating this kind of a thing, which if you think about it, that's almost exactly what your legs are doing on a bike. You're basically bicycling vertically or horizontally in the water. Okay? I don't have any real data to prove this, but this is just my theory. So when you bend your knee down, you're dragging your knee underwater, and when you drag your knee underwater, you're actually pushing water towards the front. Okay? You see as I bend the knee, here, let me get, there you go. As I, hold on, where am I? There you go. Ish? I'm trying to get, there you go. So when I'm here, I'm bending the knee. You see how it kind of comes towards me? It's coming towards me. That means you're actually pushing water forward, okay? So if you draw your knee under your body and then extend your leg, that is 100% the worst kick you can possibly do. Just absolutely, if you film yourself underwater and you see yourself doing this, stop it immediately, okay? Now, what is the best kick? That's kind of dependent. That's kind of dependent on the person and mostly your swimming style. However, what I like to teach is I like to teach best practices. I like to teach a kick that's universally good, will get the job done, and it leaves itself open to saying, okay, well, I agree with this part of what Farrell said. I don't agree with this part, but, I can kind of modify it to suit my needs and capabilities. That's what I'm trying to go for here. So the best kick is a small kick and a stiff kick, okay? This is the best kick right here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show a small video. This video, you know what? This summer, I am seriously going to get my wife on the pool deck with me, and I'm going to get my wife to actually take some footage of me swimming. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to show you my kick. I can't remember which one's which. Here we are. All right. One second here. I'm going to pause it. So this is back when Zoot debuted their first kickboard. They were kind enough to send me one, so I took a couple videos for that. So nice long legs, not a lot of knee bend. My feet are probably coming out of the water a little bit too much, but also I hadn't been in the pool for 4 months. at this point. Yeah, this was actually taken during the pandemic. But yeah, so long legs, not a lot of knee bend. This is about as good of a kick as you need to get yourself into the 130 range. You do this kick, you'll be in the 130 range. And well, I mean, you gotta up your pulling game. But basically, this is what you would need to get more into the 130 range. So okay, so how do we accomplish this kick? How do we do it? Because I can guarantee you, if I just say, oh, we'll just kick without bending your knees and just go hop in the water and try it, you're gonna have a bad time. Because, okay, what you need to liken this to is this is likening it to runners activating their glutes while running, okay? A lot of places, GTN, Terrence, Motive guy, I can't remember what his thing used to be. It pretty much any real learn to run video, they'll always talk about activating the glutes. And activating the glutes is not done while you run. It is done with certain techniques outside of the run, and techniques and drills and other things that you do outside of your actual run that help activate those muscles. So then when you're in the run, you start activating those muscles because you've trained your body to actually activate them, okay? Now, what I was able to do, I may not have gotten the swim footage I want, but I was actually able to record some footage while I was at my local gym. And this is going to replace me getting on the floor with a webcam and shouting into my microphone. So, okay, so this is me and my glorious orange shoes. Yes, I do work out in gloriously orange shoes. Also go Cougars. And so this is the first let's see here. Okay. So this is the first thing that you're going to want to do. You're going to want to get on the floor, some sort of a cushion, yoga mat, whatever, carpet, whatever. Just don't do this on like a soft surface like your bed. You can do this while sitting in a chair. You can do this if you sit on the edge of your couch, maybe. But this is actually going to be a lot better if you do this on the floor, okay? We're going to mute that. So what you want to do is you want to start in this position. You want to start in this position. So number 1, point your toes. If you can't point your toes, you need to very much so get some ankle flexibility and shin flexibility. If you cannot point your toe, here, let me go back to full camera. If you cannot point your toe like this, you need to work on that flexibility. And I actually did not show that here. So let me show this real quickly. This one's really easy to demonstrate. So what you want. Okay. So you can see kind of my feet up here. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get on your knees, and then you're going to want to point your toes backwards, and then you're going to gently put your hands here. What am I going to do with my chair? Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to put your hands on the floor. Wow, this is not entirely awkward. Yeah, I should have thought this through before I did this one. So you're going to put your hands on the floor. You're going to put your ankles back. And then, oh my gosh, dude, this is just redonk. I'm sorry. All right, there we go. Okay. So you're going to put your toes and ankles behind you. And then what you're going to do is put your hands on the floor, and then you're going to ease back onto your ankles. And then your goal is to be able to sit like this. If sitting like this is very, very, very hard for you, I very much so recommend you take some time every day, stretch out the tops of your ankles like this. Because if you cannot point your toe, learning how to kick efficiently is going to be extremely hard. You cannot kick with a foot like this. It's just really ridiculously hard to do. You have to point that toe. All right. That's it for that. That was definitely my finest work ever. This is the quality you've come to love and expect here at Feral Swim Tech. Okay. So, point the toe. Okay? Nice, gentle toe point. You don't have to go like crazy ballerina toe point. But what you want to do is you want to lift one leg at a time until about that high. So that's about, 1.5 to 2 feet. Okay? Basically, what we're doing is we're maintaining our foot line, our leg line. See about how straight this is? We want to keep it that straight with each leg. Okay? Same concept here. We are moving the leg as one single entity. We do not want that knee to bend. Absolutely not. This is training you to move your leg without bending your knee. Because think about it. When do you ever move your leg without bending the knee? I couldn't really think of a time because it's really, really, really awkward. Our knees bend for a reason, okay? Barring amputations and complete genetic defects, all of us bend our knees to move all times of the day. Whether we're on the bike, we're on the run, walking, skipping, jumping, all movements necessitate a knee bend. All right? So, we have to train our legs and hips to be able to move our legs without actually bending the knee. So, moving on. So, you do one leg at a time. Okay? Just do a couple, you want to do, sets of about 30 seconds each. 30 seconds of just lifting one leg at a time. And then what you want to do is this is the next level, okay? This is doing flutter kicks on your tush, okay? This is actually a really good core exercise. If you could do like rounds of a minute doing this, you're going to have some great abs. Abs, BS, ABS, not A double dollar signs. All right, so moving on. So you want the kick to basically look like this, okay? So now next is on your stomach, okay? Now you're going to roll over on your stomach, and what you want to do is you want to lift your leg without rotating the hip. You want this hip as square as possible on the floor. If necessary, put your hands on your buns and push your hips down towards the floor so they actually don't rotate and lift off the floor. This is extremely important because we do not want our legs, to go, okay? Imagine my shoulders are my hips. You don't want to kick like this, okay? That'll destroy your kick. That introduces a whole crap ton of movement that is absolutely not necessary, and that will destroy your kick. So one other thing to notice is that my my quads are actually getting off the floor, okay? So you want the quads to get off the floor. That is your main goal. You want at least this area that's right above your knee that has to get off the floor. If you cannot get your quad off the floor, do yoga. Okay? You gotta get some hip flexibility. That means your hip flexors are insanely tight. Doing this kick is going to be absolutely impossible if you have wicked tight hip flexors. What you need to do is you need to run 2 30-minute sessions of yoga per week. If you do that over a month, I guarantee you're going to have much more flexible hips. And continuing to do this exercise and try to lift that off the floor. There's actually a really good team stretch exercise where you get someone putting their weight on your butt and then lifting the knee off the floor. It's best to do it with a significant other because they're going to be a little intimate with your derriere. But that's actually a really good way to get a wicked good stretch if you have the opportunity and the ability to do that. So these are going to be single kicks, just like last time. See, that I'm pointing that out. So now we're doing full-blown Superman kicks, okay? We used to do rounds of 3 minutes of these back in good old college days. So what we're looking for is we're only looking for the kick to be about this deep, about this much amplitude, which that is going to be about as much amplitude as you're actually going to want in the pool. So you're going to kick just like this, Superman kicks, probably 3 rounds of 30 seconds to start, 3 rounds of a minute. Honestly, if you can hold that for 2 minutes, your lower back is going to be a stud. Okay, your core and your lower back, that's going to be great. You can put your elbows on the floor as well, if holding that. So what I'm trying to do is simulate air swimming here. I thought this might be a good idea. I may look just insanely totally awkward. But anyway, so there's that. Okay, so that is what you do on the floor. Now, here's a second thing that you can do, which I'm using with a yoga block here. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to stand on the yoga block. Now, yoga block is basically if you want the next level and you want to balance on the yoga block. Not a bad idea. Absolutely not necessary for this. You can actually do this in your stairwell, just holding on to a railing. If you got a front porch step, if you got a bleachers at your pool, just basically you got to get one leg dangling free below you in order to do this next exercise. So what you're going to do is you're going to point the toe and you're going to move your leg back and forth. Okay? Notice how I am avoiding to bend the knee as much as I possibly can. All right? So I am moving the leg forward, back, and then just moving that leg front to back while trying to keep that hip still. That is the biggest thing that you are working on. You are working on moving the leg without bending the knee. My gosh, I totally look fat in this shot. So anyway, so that's the main thing that you're going for here. You're going for moving the leg without bending the knee. Okay, so now work on those exercises. These are very, very small time exercises, so it doesn't take a lot of energy to do them. Honestly, you can probably do those twice a day. If you really, really, really want to work on that kick, I absolutely recommend you work on those twice a day. Okay, so now let's talk about, now that we've talked, Okay, let me talk about how to do it in the pool. Then we'll talk about timings and stuff like that. Okay, so now how do we transfer this into the pool? I have a kicking regimen that is not tested. I've been begging people to test it and give me feedback on how it works, but I don't know. I haven't had anyone take me up on the offer yet. So if you want to do stuff for science, feralswimtech@gmail.com. You can volunteer yourself to be a research subject for me. I will give you a big hearty 2 thumbs up. I unfortunately don't have any goodies I can give you for being a participant in my insane scientific endeavors, but here you go. So if you really want to work on this, this is my recommendation, where you go to the pool, you block out one whole workout for this. You block out a full hour for this. This is what you're going to do. You're going to start with sitting on the pool deck and doing what I showed you for the floor exercises, okay? You're going to sit on the pool deck, do kicks on your butt. You're going to do about 30 kicks, about a minute kick on your butt. Roll into your belly, about a minute, 30 seconds to a minute kick on your belly. Then what you're going to do is you're going to hop in the water. You're going to hold the pool wall. You're going to execute the same movement you did on your belly in the water, okay? So what you're focusing on are 2 major things. Number 1, not bending the knee, or 3 things. Number 2, moving the whole leg. Number 3, keeping those hips still. Drive the power through the hips into the legs without moving the hips, all right? Work on those 3 things when you're kicking on the wall for about a minute. Doesn't have to be hard, just has to be good technique, okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to grab your kickboard, get in the water, push off while holding the kickboard high above your head. I don't want you holding the kickboard like I showed you in the video before. I actually want you grabbing the bottoms of the kickboard. Let me grab my kickboard. I will show you. I actually want you holding the bottom of the kickboard and putting the kickboard above your head and kicking this way. Push. You're going to push the kickboard down, take your breath, pop your hand back in that streamline, and keep kicking. What this is going to do is this is going to really, really help your streamline position, because a lot of people, if they go like this, they tend to tense up and then bring their lower back forward. That's going to sink your legs. If you reach just like this will put you in a much better streamline position. This will really help you learn how to do this kick. Okay, so you're going to kick for a 25. You're going to hop out of the pool. You're going to do that again with the kicks. You're going to sit on the ground, do the kicks, roll over on your belly, do the kicks in the Superman position. Then you're going to hop back in the water, kick on the wall again, focus on the legs, keeping the legs straight, keeping the toes kicking. Okay, remember, this is not a hard kick. This is about as hard as your kick should be. Okay, this is about as fast as your legs should be going. You do not have to kick fast for good technique. You don't. If you have really good technique, you can actually get away with a really slow kick. Okay, so then you're going to grab the board, push off, kick another 25. You're going to do the same thing again. Get out, kick on your butt, kick on your belly, hop back in the water, kick on the wall. This time you're going to swim a 50, focusing on that kick. All right? You're going to swim a 50, working on keeping those legs nice and straight. We want those legs to be nice and straight during the kick. Keep those hips centered. Keep those legs nice and straight. And then you're going to go, flip, turn, come back, and then you're going to do it again, and again, and then again. You want to do it for your whole workout, whole hour workout. I guarantee you drill this into your face for an entire workout, you're going to make a lot of progress real quick. You're going to get accustomed to moving the legs without bending the knee. That's half the battle right there. If you can move the legs without bending the knee, you're going to develop more stiffness in the leg. More stiffness equals more power transfer throughout the leg. More power transfer throughout the leg means you're going to generate more lift with the kick, and you will start to actually generate propulsion going directly behind you. I think I'm going to do an advanced kicking technique video where I'll actually go into the vector diagrams and I'll really show you exactly what's going on. I think for now we're going to move on to the timing because I know Joel specifically asked for that in the chat, and this is actually a really important thing in terms of truly understanding how the kick works, okay? Because one thing that our bodies despise is chaos. Our bodies like to be in sync. Our bodies like rhythms. We are natural, rhythmic. All animals enjoy some sort of a natural rhythm, okay? You know, it's true for thermodynamics. It's true for efficiency. It's true for car motors. It's true for our own body motors. We want everything to be in sync. We want our legs to be in sync with our arms, to be in sync with our breathing. Because if we do something chaotically out of order, it throws off the whole fluidity of it. And remember, we're moving through fluid. I know that sounds really cheap and dumb, but there's nothing better than getting into a flow during a distance event and just cruising. You know, I've never swam anything longer. I've swam 3,000s during practice, but the first time I swam a 2,000-yard race for a half Ironman and I really got in the flow, that's a pretty cool thing. I'm not going to lie. Just cruising along the water and really getting into the flow. It's fantastic. So we want to time our kicks to our pulls. What we need to start developing an idea is we need to develop an idea that our kick is the metronome. Our kick is not the trailer. Our kick is not the tail. Okay? Our kick is a metronome. And if you'll pardon me for one quick second, I realize I've gone past 9 o'clock Pacific time. I have to tell my buddies that I'm going to be doing my live stream with that I'm going to be a little bit late. Okay. So now I'm going to mute that just in case I talk back. Okay. So timing. Okay. We usually talk timing in beats. 2-beat kick, 4-beat kick, 6-beat kick. Those are the three that you're going to hear. You're not really going to hear stuff like, oh, well, I do an 8-beat kick. I do a 1-beat kick. Yeah, you're not going to hear that. Usually it's going to be 2, 4, or 6-beat kick. 2-beat. So what is a beat kick? That is how many kicks you take during a full arm cycle. A full arm cycle is defined as if my right arm's in the back, my left arm is in the front, I go 1 pull, replace. Okay, so my hand has gone full circle, and we're back at start. So if we're doing a 2-beat kick, we are kick, kick. 4-beat kick, 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 kick. 6-beat kick, 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 kick. Or some combination thereof. There are people that do syncopated kicks where there may be one kick on one side. Like, for instance, Katie Ledecky. I've seen her 4-beat kick. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That works for some people. That's the exception. That's not the rule. Typically, you're going to want to even out the kicks on each side. Now, I hate 2-beat kick with a passion. 2-beat kick, you might as well not even be trying. I'm going to be brutally honest here. A 2-beat kick is a complete waste of effort for a couple reasons. Number one, your legs are doing absolutely dadgum nothing. Your legs are barely keeping themselves on the surface of the water. Yes, I know there's a lot of people that swear by it. This is my opinion. I see no value in a 2-beat kick. You need a 4-beat kick or a 6-beat kick. You cannot get away with 1 kick per stroke. A 2-beat kick is legitimately what you would do if you're like marathon ocean swimming. Like if your coach is suggesting you do a 2-beat kick, that coach doesn't understand how to teach kick technique correctly, and they would just rather say, you're better off simply not kicking rather than actually taking the time to learn how to kick. In my opinion, that's what I believe is going on when people suggest a 2-beat kick. I have never seen any, and also the other problem is with a 2-beat kick. Each kick, you wind up compensating the amount of kicks with power per kick, and that actually shocks your system. Your kicks are so far apart, you actually kind of go a hammer effect. Pop, 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 pop. It's worthless. It absolutely, if you have a 2-beat kick, please, I beg of you, do everything you can to get out of it. I don't see any good things for it unless you're an absolute ultra distance swimmer. If you're swimming from Catalina to Long Beach, okay, you can do a 2-beat kick. If you're swimming just 4,000 yards, and some of you going like, I know 4,000 yards. 4,000 yards is a cakewalk for someone like me. For someone that swam 8,000 yards, 10,000 yards within 2 hours for a workout, 4,000 yards isn't really that bad, okay? I'll openly admit 4,000 would be a little bit of a stretch for me right now, basically because I only swim maybe once a week, if that. But definitely swimming 2,500 or 750, it's a half mile. I will get to the 4-beat kick in just a second, Joel. I'm gonna sing the praises of the 4-beat kick. Give me a minute. Crap. I lost my train of thought. Dang it. Yeah, I have ADHD. It happens. So basically, the 2-beat kick, not. Oh yeah. That's right. Distances, 2,000 mile and a half mile. the two beat's killing you, absolutely killing you. So we don't want to do a 2-beat kick, okay? So a 6-beat kick, in my opinion, is too many kicks. 6-beat kick is more for sprinting. It is more for the 50, 100, 200 range, okay? Here's my real problem with the 6-beat kick, and it's personal. I have a personal beef with this. The reason why it's personal for me is because it slows my arms down too much to get that third kick in per stroke, okay? Because 6-beat kick is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? 3 kicks per arm pull. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My problem is my legs cannot kick fast enough in order to make this work without slowing my arms down. Okay? I have to slow my arms down in order to make a 6-beat kick work. That's the main reason why I don't teach it. That's why I don't like it. I personally believe a 6-beat kick slows you down too much. I actually had a Team Zoot member that gave me footage. I just remembered this. And she was the quintessential example of this, where I saw that her arm speed was significantly slower because she was trying to do a textbook 6-beat kick. Now, she was a swimmer. She swam, I know she did high school. She may have done college in like back east or something like that. But the 6-beat kick legitimately was slowing her arm speed down too much. So by taking 1 kick out per arm cycle, we get to the 2-beat kick or 4-beat kick. 4-beat kick is my bread and butter. I love the 4-beat kick. 4-beat kick, I will sing the praises of the 4-beat kick all the time. Now, 4-beat kick is hard to do. It is not easy because most people that attempt the 4-beat kick have not really thought about kicking before. Most people do not think about, okay, how are my legs kicking as opposed to my arms pulling? How is this all working? Okay, so if you're doing a 4-beat kick, okay, you're doing 2 kicks per stroke. You are going to go kick, okay? Your first kick should happen about mid-pull. Mid-pull on your first arm, mid-recovery on your other arm, okay? Your second kick is your hand finishes the pull / your hand enters the water. That's 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now, some of you may be thinking, well, but this increases your arm speed. This increases your arm speed. This is going to make you, go faster and stuff, right? I mean, this is involving more of your body. You're going to be burning more calories. You're going to be burning more oxygen. Think about it this way. What has more muscle mass, your arms or your legs? Your legs do. Okay? You move your legs on average 2 kicks per stroke. Okay? Assuming, and let's say for a 25-yard pool, you swim 20 strokes per length. We're just making the math easy here. Okay? 20 strokes per length. Okay? Each stroke equals 6 kicks. 20 strokes equals 120 kicks. Okay? Now, you do a 4-beat kick. You swim 20 strokes. You're only kicking 80 times. That's 40 less kicks per 25. Okay? That's 120 kicks less per 100. And then exponentially, and then it just continues to multiply on from there. So if you go from a 6-beat kick to a 4-beat kick, you're automatically saving a ton of energy. You're saving mostly oxygen. This will help you stave off oxygen deprivation the easiest way out of any way that I know how. I can almost guarantee you most people, and we'll talk about this a lot in the breathing episode, which will, next time I'm going to talk about goggles, and then we're going to talk about breathing. We're going to talk about breathing patterns, breathing techniques, stuff like that. But usually, whenever I encounter someone that says this, I swim a 25 and I'm gassed. I swim a 25 and I'm sucking oxygen. I'm breathing extremely heavy. It's hard for me to swim more than 2 to 3 lengths at a time. I just can't breathe. How fast are you kicking? How much are you kicking? I can guarantee you that person is kicking way too hard and they're getting nothing out of their kick. So this is why the 4-beat kick is so delicious, is that you're saving a ton of energy all the way around. Now, some of you are thinking, well, if that's true, well, what if we just do a 2-beat kick? The problem is the 2-beat kick, you overcompensate the amount of kicks with the power each kick. In my opinion, that's probably a wash, although I have no way to scientifically test that out. I mean, let's be honest. Some derp like me in a garage is not going to have the sophisticated equipment to accurately test this theory. Okay, that's like I said, that's a theory, and I've tried it out myself, and that's what makes sense to me. So I'm going to go with that. Okay, so the 4-beat kick, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So, how do you do this? How do you learn the 4-beat kick? And this is the last thing that we'll do, and then I got to knock off for the evening. How do you learn a 4-beat kick? Well, you start with the dryland. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you get in the water, and you're kicking, holding on to the wall. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So then you swim that 50. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? What we have to do is we have to make our legs kind of like those little wind-up toys you put in the bathtub and it goes, it kicks all over the place. The Scuba Sam kind of a deal. We want our legs to be set it and forget it, okay? Now, what happens if we want to go faster? We kick our legs faster, and then we pull faster, okay? So, you want your legs to be the throttle of your body. You want to experiment kicking slow, kicking fast, kicking average, and then experiment with swimming, matching the arms with the legs. The number one thing that I do with sprinters in high school is I make them kick like the Dickens. I get them in the water and I keep yelling at them to kick faster while holding on the wall. Most of the kids that know this already, they go, "Oh no, he's making me do that." And then the other kids, the poor sucker freshmen, like, "What are we doing? Oh, we're going to be kicking on the wall? Oh, yes, we're going to be kicking on the wall. And I'm going to make your legs burn big time." So, but I say that, honestly, for most of you, this really isn't going to be a big deal. But in terms of kicking fast, to go fast, I mean, if you're sprinting, basically, I can almost guarantee you, if you have a problem getting under the minute, if you're trying to do 100 sub-minute, you have to kick hard. You have to kick hard. You have to kick fast, okay? Now, kicking fast isn't, no, this is not kicking hard. This is kicking hard, not this, okay? So, I wish I had a better camera. But your kick is compact and powerful. You want to envision you got one of those 5-gallon buckets from Home Depot, the ones that are about that big around, and your kick is inside the bucket. You don't want to be outside the bucket. That is not a fast kick. That is a wicked slow kick. And not only that, when you kick down here, you are pushing water forward like crazy. So keep that kick here. Now, an advanced kick, we'll talk about another main reason why you want to kick small. That's because you can actually rotate when you kick like that. But we're not talking about rotation tonight because that'll blow most of your heads off. Body rotation. That's going to be a fun episode. So that's mostly it about kicking. So just remember to review. If you got through to this point, thank you. Just to review, your kick is mostly there, especially if you're above 130 per 100. If you're slower than 130 per 100, your kick is there to get your butt and your legs up to the surface of the water. I can almost guarantee you if you're swimming slower than a 145 per 100, your kick is terrible, and you really need to focus on this kick. Remember, you're not focusing on the kick to make you a faster kicker. You are turning your legs from a liability into neutral. Okay? We're not making them an asset yet. We're not making them productive and making you go stupid fast and crap. That's when you're at the 130 or faster mark. When you're slower than 130, all you're doing is not having your legs be a liability. That's it. That's all we got to get to. We got to get your legs neutral to where they're not really pushing you forward, but they're not exactly pushing you backwards either. Because your legs are down here. If your legs are down here and you're dragging them on the bottom of the pool, yeah, they're a total liability. Of course you're swimming slow because you're dragging an anchor. Okay? All right. So we're turning our legs from a liability into neutral / maybe an asset if you pick this up really quickly. Number 2, you do not have to kick hard to be a good kicker. You just need to have stiff legs that are long and just legitimately think like you have a belt and you're suspended in the air and you're just reaching your legs down towards the floor. That is what you need to focus on. And if you do that, I promise you, you will be a better kicker very quickly. Just focus on not bending the knees, engaging the entirety of the leg, do the dry land, do the kick drill workout that I laid out for you in this broadcast. Please, farrellswimtech@gmail.com. If you do this, please let me know how it goes. Let me know if you run into problems, because I've been claiming this thing works for years now, and I don't have anyone telling me. Please email me. I beg of you. Please. All right, follow me on Instagram, farrellswimtech at Instagram. I've been really terrible about making new episodes. My life is insane. YouTube, farrellswimtech. I have all the people that I have reviewed on done stroke technique reviews for, and if you want me to review your stroke, farrellswimtech@gmail.com. Send me an email there. I'll tell you everything you need to know, and check me out on Rumble. Hit that like button on the Rumbles. Would greatly appreciate it. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Everyone that has tuned in, if you're watching this as a VOD and you got any questions whatsoever, please hit me up in the comments below. I do check these. Thank you once again to shout out to Mark Goddard. I thank him every episode just because he allows me to do this, and it is an absolute pleasure and a joy to have this platform and to be able to share with you all the swim knowledge I've accrued over 20 years of swim experience. I've been in a pool longer than I'd like to admit. And I'm really great to share this with you. Meg, thank you so much for that comment. Saving this, thank you. Greatly appreciated. So yes, tell your friends about this. If you have friends that want swim technique done, remember this is a free service. I ask for donations. Donations are not required. I ask for them. If you want to do in-person lessons, please hit me up. I've had people that travel to California for work that have hit me up while they're in the area, and we get a swim session together. Luis, thank you so much for that nice comment as well. So we're going to be done tonight. Next episode is actually going to be about goggles. We're going to talk all about the goggles. So we're going to talk all about the goggles, what you need to know before you buy your next pair. And, so that's it for me. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Go Team Zoot. Continue training, continue racing, everyone. If any of you are interested in what I am doing, I am definitely going to be at Mesa again this year. I'm traveling out to Mesa, hanging out with my BYU swimmer buddies. My daughters are going to be in the kiddos event. It's going to be a good time. I'm possibly going to be in San Diego in September, maybe. And I'm definitely doing Bayshore in November. I'm going to try and hit up one more Saturday race sometime in the future, but that is my current race calendar. So that's it for me here on Team Zoot. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Keep training, keep swimming. Any questions whatsoever, hit me up, farrellswimtech@gmail.com. And thank you all so much for tuning in. Until later, my friends. Good night, as I Norris, wherever you are. I'm out of here. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.